So I'm gonna run these, the first one or two, just kind of at pace. Press back, release forward. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come up, on target, off trigger, back, release forward. One smooth motion. Press the trigger back. Press. Work the slide to the rear, back. Release the trigger forward. You'll see where this plays into a great deal of what we do here in a minute. So I come up, off, press. How many guys have had trigger freeze? Where I don't let that forward action of the trigger come far enough. Now, in my brain housing group, I've got a whole lot of stuff going on. I've got to see the sight, I've got to work the slide, I've got to get the trigger to work forward and rear, and I want to run the gun like I know what I'm doing. So there's a couple ways to do that. I can do this. Or I can do this.
I told you you could shoot faster.
When I run the action, I want to run it with enthusiasm, but if I don't have that little ditty going in my head when I first start, press back, release forward, I don't know how to neuro process that information. And I want to get my brain and my fingers working together.
What's the logic on not coming off the trigger before you pump? Just speed or something else too?
Say that again, sir, I'm sorry.
What's the logic of not coming off the trigger before you pump?
Excellent. So, if I'm driving a shift, I know that there's a certain point where I shift the car and I get the most out of that shift, out of that gear. That's what I'm working with the trigger. I don't have to be at a disadvantage because other people have trained improperly. If I'm good in a self-defense shooting to engage a threat, I want to engage him properly with the best skill I have. My finger comes off the trigger to allow it to reset, and then I touch it again. If I hold it and let it go back and I come way off the trigger, now I've got all that free trigger play and all that travel. I want to maintain contact of that trigger because I'm in a shooting sequence.
Same as a handgun, you shoot.
Same as the handgun. So where guys will come off the trigger and then run at it again, it's acceptable, you can get away with it, but it's not optimal. So again, let's see if we can try two again. So all I'm doing in my mind is taking two shots, working the trigger, working the action. Now someone will watch that video and say, oh my God, he didn't scan, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. For the love of Pete, we're working on building a skill, not all that tactical ninja guru. We'll get there. Building the skill. So two shots is what's going to come up next. Questions?